I found an added ingredient to this. There's a lot of people out there that mixes this up, but I will show you. That is a very, I mean, it's ready to go. Goods and adventures, y'all. Me and Mama's cooking.
Yep.
Well, not really.
No.
Just mixing. All right, so hands down, y'all, this is the best carp bait we found yet, and it is fairly cheap. So normally use cream style corn, but you know, you go down there to the store and you go to get it, and you know what, they don't have any. So we're going to just use hard kernel. I usually mix two, a can of cream style and a can of whole kernel, but we're going to dump that whole can in there. Now I'm going to mush this up, kind of make my own cream style corn. Don't throw your old coffee cans away. So we're just going to squish that up a little bit, break it up, get the juices going. So you know what this means? We must be going carp fishing. We seen a big one roll the other day. We're going to try to get him on the line. Anyway, I just crushed that up, and there's a little bit of coffee still in there. Ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Looks like pepper.
Yeah, and just plain breadcrumbs, and then we're gonna. It's just plain. I've used the Italian kind too, and it works out good. I'm gonna dump that whole thing in there. This is just one little batch. We'll mix this up. You want to mix this up, y'all, prior to going fishing, because it will change in the sun a little bit. It's going to take a while for these breadcrumbs to soak up all that juice. And I found an added ingredient to this. There's a lot of people out there that mixes this up, but I will show you. That is a very, I mean, it's ready to go. Pack that on. See all that juice squeeze out of that whole kernel corn. Because we use corn for our bait on our hook, so normally I'll just dig it out of here, but that right there will catch carp, y'all, just like you see it. That easy. I mean, we have done it that way. But it's gonna get mushier. It's really wet right now. A lot of people drain that corn juice, and I don't, because I want that corn juice in the water. And cream style will allow more cloudiness in the water. It's got little smaller particles in it, but once you smash this all up, it's not a big difference. Still corn. This is getting pretty mushy, and it's really wet. So I might add a little bit more, but I'm trying to make a single batch for you guys. So here's the other trick I found. Something about, I didn't add these last time, and I didn't have as good a luck, so I'm saying it was the frosted flakes, y'all. We're not going to be eating it with milk, but take this, get a handful of it, and start crushing it up. Now what's going to end up happening, the more you dry this out, you can make a pack bait. If you keep it wet, it will stay on the hook more like a dough ball. So this is, keep all your added ingredients, y'all, with you. You know, keep an extra can of corn, keep you an extra thing of this, panko bread, and save always some of your corn flakes, because what's going to end up happening is as this heats up, and you start mixing it, and the longer it stays, it will change. You might have to wetten it, you might have to moisten it down, but normally you got to dry it out. If you want it to break up, you got to get it dried out. But those corn flakes, y'all, that was one handful. I'm going to do another. I think we're going to have to add some more breadcrumbs, because we want a pack bait. So we want it to break down, and then what's going to be left is our hair rig with some corn on it. And y'all need to stay tuned to the videos, because I am going to try to use a different bait, and it's going to be fun. It's something most of you kids is running around eating, and we'll show that later on. But this is already drying out. It's getting kind of gummy, and that's really all you need. Like I said, you can pack this up right now. She's ready to go. Method feeder, we just pack it around our lead. We ain't fancy. So if the lead, we'll put it out around our lead and our line, and then the hair rig will be down here, and we just toss it out. And once we get an area baited up, they will come in. But this is pretty sticky right now. Those corn flakes add some sweetness to it. I want to go in depth with this because I learned this a long time ago. You can add instant mashed potatoes, and I love doing that. It makes you can add so much to this, but this is your base, y'all. And the more you dry it out, the quicker it's going to break apart in the water. If you keep it wet and doughy, the more of a dough ball. You can use it in the rivers, current, and stuff like that. But hands down, y'all, that is the best. All around, take it anywhere with you, river, lake, anywhere. And this right here is something you can add. So you can take an old can that you used up, and you can squirt your syrup in the can, and then take your bait and dip it all down in there. And that way you're not mixing it in all the time. You're just giving this strawberry burst when it hits the water. You just dip your bait down in there. We're going to show all this on the lake, y'all. But that is as simple as it gets. 3 ingredients, y'all. And that's going to sit there a while. It's going to form up even more. It's starting to get, you can see it's starting to get pretty clumpy now. And like I said, you really want to get serious, but that corn flakes, y'all, will soak up a lot of that moisture, and this will break apart, and you will have these. Carp love to eat corn flakes, you guys, and that will break apart. And the tighter you pack it, that right there, you can pack that real tight, and that ain't gonna come off the hook. That will stay there. And sometimes your big old carp will just suck this down, y'all, and your hair rig will be out here and it'll pick it up too. So it turns into just this dough, and I will show y'all. Let's like I said, I wanted an in-depth, so we got another one. Make sure you buy 3-4 cans of this stuff. It's under $2. I think if you go to a grocery store, you can get them a little bigger. Anyway, watch this. Let's just say we messed it up. Let's just put in a whole nother can in there. So that's 2 cans. We're going to be mixing all this up, y'all. We'll be having a lot of it. So let's just say 2 can mixture. Let's mix this up. It's going to get real dry now. It's going to soak up the rest of that. And I'd rather have it dry, y'all, because if it's dry, you can always add some corn juice to it, some more cream style corn, syrup. You can add all kinds of stuff if you keep your bait a dry mix. And then when you add to it, you can get a consistency where you can actually time this stuff to how long it breaks down, how long you want it to stay on the hook. And if you're kind of like in a hurry to bait an area, you want this stuff to break apart really fast. So within 5 minutes is normally max time. If it takes longer than 5 minutes for it to break down, it's more like a dough ball. And so that's 2 cans. Let me show you guys what this is going to do now with 2 cans of breadcrumbs, 1 can of corn, and 2 handfuls of corn flakes. So now look how dry this is. You can see it's not even soaked it up, but look at that, y'all. Now that's dry. When that hits the water, it's going to want to start falling apart and breaking up. And so that's what it's going to look like, y'all. When this starts absorbing water, it's going to break apart and want to start floating out, and it's going to look something like that on the bottom of the, more like something like that. And then the carp's going to come by and pick this up, pick the hook up. Anyway, y'all, that's the options you have with just these two ingredients. You don't have to add the corn flakes. You can just get I always get whole kernel corn because it just works well. Instead of picking all this out and trying to thread this corn on a hook, you can just reach down in the can and put this on your hook and stick your hook in the pile. Just so say, I take my hook and I shove it down in there like that. I ball this up. Now my hook's in there. Your weight leader, might be out here. It's that quick, y'all. Throw that out and we'll catch carp. And it's worked out really well. And then if you do get it really dry, you can add this. This will help it stick too. We used to use this with soybean meal. But hands down, y'all, an average person right there's 2, 4, 50 cents. You don't have to have this. Those carp eat that just the same with no flavoring or anything. If they're hungry, they're going to find that. And you can pack a wad of bait, y'all. Look at that. And Goodson's Adventures just wants to share this because it has been a very good bait for me and Mama. We have caught a ton of fish.
Yeah, it has.
Also, not only carp, but catfish will eat it. They'll pick it up if it's not breaking apart. But what you do is when we get to the lake, we'll show you what's going on. When we get to the lake, we'll throw some water. That's what you normally rinse your hands out with. And you just get you a bucket of water, throw this down in there, and see how long it takes to break apart. If it's too long, dry it out. Add more corn flakes, add more breadcrumbs, dry it out. If it's that's if it's too wet. If it's too dry, you won't be able to pack it and it'll break apart too quick. And if it does that, then just add some moisture to it. Wetting your hands sometimes is all you gotta do. Just stick your hands down in the bucket and it's enough to form it. But this stuff y'all was getting, that was 2 cans of breadcrumbs and 1 can of corn. And you can put the lid on that right there, y'all, and go to the river, go where you want. You can still see that corn flakes in there, but I want this to set up. This is going to be our starter bait, and we got enough to make some more here. But that right there ought to do you for a few hours. Bait up an area, and if you're just by yourself, now when me and Mama go, we got to make a double batch. But you can see here, I won't bore you out, but this is really starting to dry up. But the harder I squeeze that, the corn juice is coming out, and that's a pretty dry, that will break apart fairly quick. And we will show you guys, but I want us to get a base here set before we go to the lake, and wanted to mix this up, share Goodson's Adventures carp bait. I told y'all we still want to get a 20-pounder.
Yeah.
I don't think we got it yet, but and our I don't even know if we got a scale to say that, but we'll see. It is tough. They keep whooping us. They run so hard and they run us into logs out there, but
and then they get
tangled up and break us off. So hopefully tonight, I thought it'd cloud up, but it's pretty hot. Y'all, best bait right there. Just corn and breadcrumb.